Hi guys, it's Emily Swank here with Autism Assistant, and we are doing another installment of our featured provider interviews. One of my favorite things to do because I love that you get to see the personality and kind of the inspiration behind a lot of our providers and what they do. Today we have Katy Burger from Kids Thrive Therapy in the Baltimore area. Hi Katy.
Hi, Emily.
Thank you so much for being here today. I'm excited to do the interview with you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Of course. I'm just going to jump right in and I'm going to have you tell us a little bit about you, things like the services you offer, age range of clients, that sort of thing.
Sure. So we are an outpatient pediatric occupational therapy practice located in Towson, Maryland. We opened our practice approximately a year ago. We had the fortunate ability to design our space and really make it what we wanted it to look like and have the resources we wanted it to have. So we have 3 large therapy gyms that we use for treatments, as well as 3 small treatment areas. So we have ample space to spread out, which is really important during this time as well. We serve children from birth to age 21. That's generally our population.
Oh, wow. That's a going up to 21. You don't hear a lot of places do that. That's awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about why the services that you guys offer can be so helpful to autistic clients?
Sure. So often we find that these children and clients have delays in motor skills, which really impacts their coordination, their ability to motor plan. It may be even due to some strength deficits that we see. And that can make their engagement in everyday daily tasks sometimes a struggle for them. So our goal is to work with them to improve these skills. Working on and addressing motor planning is so important, especially in relation to play and just learning what are these objects, what are these toys, what are these new things that we have, how do I play with them, how do I use my hands and my body to interact them, and then how do I engage that with others. So that's really important. We focus on motor planning during our sessions. The other really important aspect that we focus on is sensory processing, sensory integration. So this can largely impact a child's social skills, their behavior, their ability to engage in everyday tasks. So we as occupational therapists help to identify sensory challenges, to help tease out what are the areas that the child might be over responding to or under responding to, and then we target interventions to help them to adapt. And to help them, make sense of their sensory world, their sensory environment. We also teach children how to make sense of the internal sensations that they're experiencing in their own bodies, which can often, impact how they're able to engage. The other big part that goes along with that is feeding. So in our clinic, we work with a lot of children on aspects of feeding, with recognizing where there might be barriers with either fine motor grasp or sensory skills. And that can significantly impact a child's ability to feed themselves, interact with their food, and have a diet, that is sustainable. So that's a lot of, what we focus on as well.
Yeah, as the mother of autistic children, a lot of what you're saying is ringing true there. So that makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
So when you have parents who are new to all this, maybe they've just received a diagnosis, just kind of starting down this road of therapy, what should they expect? What is that process going to look like for them?
Sure. So initially they would call our office and engage in an intake, and our therapists are more than willing to, even before coming in, to have a conversation with the parent on the phone, really get to know the family, get to know the child ahead of time, know if there's anything that we should look out for before coming into the facility, especially if there are more, sensory triggers that we should be made aware of. The family will come with the child for the initial evaluation. Family members are certainly able to stay throughout the evaluation. We provide a lot of ongoing parent education through the whole process. There might be instances where the therapist is gaining rapport with the child, so we might, in certain circumstances, have the parent step out for a little bit, but ultimately our parent communication is a huge part of our therapy, and we do integrate the parents as much as we can with that. Um, for when a child comes in for the initial assessment, we're looking at, we're taking a lot of information and synthesizing that. So we're providing some standardized assessments, but we're gaining a lot of information from parents through interview, and we're observing the child interacting in different environments in our clinic. Through that, we culminate all that information together to create a treatment plan, to set appropriate goals for the child, and really to engage the family to figure out what is it that they would like for us to tackle first. So we like to gather lots and lots of information. The families do receive a very extensive report that goes through all the child's strengths, as well as what are the goals that we're going to work on. What are we hoping to improve with engagement with occupational therapy?
Okay, that's great. So what is your inspiration behind what you do? Kind of what got you into this?
Sure. So my inspiration was just wanting to connect with families, connect to the community. I a lot of times children come in with their families, and we see all the things that the child is struggling with, but our role too is to show the families this is what your child can do, or this is what the child can't do yet, but these are the goals that we're working toward. I think all of us therapists here really strive to be part of this family's team. That is our ultimate goal. It's not just myself and the child. It's really the whole family and the community. We do a lot of community outreach. I don't think I mentioned it before, but we strive to also talk with other practitioners, other doctors, other therapists, other people working with the child too, because we don't want to have our own little, house of OT here. We want to be connected with the greater community as well to help the child as best as we can.
Oh, awesome. What would you say is the most challenging thing about what you do, and then what's the most rewarding?
Sure. So the nature of what we do is to problem solve. So there are always encounters that we have, or parents come to us with new things that are going on. And although it is a challenge, it's kind of an exciting challenge for us. We attempt to find the root cause of what's going on. And then this can be often difficult for our friends that are nonverbal, creating even more of a challenge. But with the family, with the child, we trial many different strategies to work on. And I think from a challenge standpoint, everything takes time. There is not usually a quick fix for something, but we're in it. We're in it with the family to figure out what will work. So yes, we have a lot of challenges we encounter, but they're kind of exciting, good challenges.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. What's the most rewarding?
Sure. The most rewarding thing, I think, is just knowing we have a really safe space for our children to come to. We get to watch them grow. We get to watch them laugh and play, and really, challenge them to the point where they kind of recognize when they have accomplished something new or can do something awesome for the first time. And also, I can't express enough that parent connection is just so huge, and that is so rewarding. And oftentimes, we are kind of like our family of therapists here, but we feel like we extend ourselves to be part of that child's family as well.
Well, that's great to hear. And my last question would just be, what is something that parents that are considering working with you guys, what's something you'd like them to know?
Sure. We are very committed to our team of therapists. We strive to engage our therapists in additional professional learning classes and courses, because we know that there's always more to learn. There's always more that we can be growing in. We also, as I said before, are growing our knowledge of community resources. So I think that's something that is really important, especially when working with autistic children and their families.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for being here today. You guys have actually submitted a video to us with a tour of your facility. So I'm excited to be able to show the gyms that you have and some of that stuff off. I know with OT, that's always a big selling feature is the spaces the kids are going to love to play in. So we will have that attached at the end of this interview. So parents who are thinking of working with you can check that out. Also, if you guys have questions for Katy or you just want to see more information about Kids Thrive Therapy, we'll have a link in the description of the video to their full profile so you can see that info. You can reach out and contact them. But thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.